We'll see if they can secure that 7th spot. This is the last game for both of these teams. Impunity, they've already had to play one game earlier today. It's a little bit of stress, a little bit of tiredness coming from that one. But they still have a great shot. I do like their, like on paper, I like their composition a little bit more. But I'm not sure about the execution. That's my big if here.
Yes, execution has always been an issue this entire split for a side of Impunity. And here they essentially draft a no primary engage composition, which, you know, they've struggled with primary engage. So perhaps this is going to work to their benefit because now they don't have tools to find themselves overextended because they take an ill-fated start to the fight. And for MFT, this is all about burst. It's coming down to Gwen and Taco being able to just blow up the backline. Taco on the Gwen, you know, we don't think of Gwen until this patch as an assassin, but she really is, with her current build path, an assassin. She goes into the backline with the Shadow Flame and just pops a target with the 3rd proc of her ultimate.
Well, absolutely could happen here, and MFT have plenty of tools to just catch people out in flanks. It's so hard to anticipate when Vex is going to fly into your backline. MFT, if they could get the coordination in, I could see a very explosive start to one of these objective fights. Earlier on, though, walk me through some of these lanes. Where do you see the main jungle pass heading towards when we have these lane allocations?
I think for the side of MFT, they should look to try and focus bot lane, and as a result, when you are playing the Trundle pick, for the most part, you want to try and be more of facilitating and trying to either counter gank or, I mean, for the most part, when you look at his composition, it's hard to actually...
Jackpot just hit level 2, is going to get one more vital proc if he goes in. He also has that grasp ready too, so Taco already under a lot of stress.
A lot of stress indeed. And yeah, back to the Trundle point. I think both of these junglers will most likely spend a decent chunk of time in that bot lane. For Alex, it's about diffusing the situation, preventing a 665 from snowballing onto that bot lane. And for MFT, it's about being able to actually break this duo. Kill Annex and Yusin because of the fact that you know you're going to get outscaled by that combination later on. It's going to be harder and harder for them to find impact. It's also very difficult to gank for Gwen early on, so this is the clear lane.
Onyx does get caught mid-air, has to burn the cleanse onto that one. Light trading going in. I think that would be very helpful to the MFT strategy that you're talking about, making sure you can break up Onyx and Yushin. I also want to say that there's a lot of good anchor points for Yuumi in this game, so if Impunity start winning bot lane, that could spell trouble all across the board. They're definitely going to focus that one. Meanwhile, we've been paying a lot of attention to the top side where Fiora, rightfully so, does get that early lead. Kind of expected in this one. Meanwhile, Alex also going to clear out for his bottom side, dropping ward right on top of the scuttle. Make sure he can clear out. Gwen now going to get caught in no man's land. He should have spotted Alex here. And yeah, the flash over is just going to go there. Gwen already dead. 665 now has to run away into the river towards his dual lane. He's looking to turn this one around, but Impunity are very safe.
Great first kill coming in for Impunity. They punish just when walking up too far.
That was so weird.
Even a little bit too far is sort of too far for a Trundle, right? Because he throws down a pillar and you've got a long ways to walk if you don't immediately burn the flash. And even then, he burns the flash, still gets chased down. The pillar is just so oppressive for these early ganks as well.
I'm pretty sure he actually spotted Alex on Scuttle, but still died regardless. So just a little bit weird play in my eyes. Issue now looking for the depth charge. Graviton going in, perfect combination. And Onyx still going to get out just okay. The Ignite used, but he will survive.
And the big thing here is it actually forces the recalls out, right? Because Yusin doesn't have mana to try and heal him back to full. So they're forced to just go ahead, recall. It's going to give them some time in this bottom lane to secure A plate for Whale, and they want to try and funnel as much gold into this Aphelios as they can. Actually, they're just going to prioritize just getting a good recall off instead, which is reasonable as well. And they actually have the tier 2 boots advantage, so it's going to make things a little bit easier to try and catch out Annex during the lane phase.
I do want to point out some of the builds that we have coming in. It's going to be straight tank trundle. I really like this from Alex, actually. Looking across the board, he knows that there's a lot of burst damage from MFT. Taking a look at the rest of the first buys. Pretty standard fare here. Divine Thunder is coming out from both the Wukong and the Fiora. And, just the most likely Everfrost from Ari here.
This is pretty unfun up in the top lane.
Yes, I agree with that.
Taco not having a good time, forced the blind pick, stuck onto the Gwen. Yes, the Gwen has better team fight than a Fiora. However, in the 1v1, not so much. And he's currently stuck in a 1v1. It's going to be a while until we actually get to see a big team fight break out where he's able to utilize that ultimate. And that also means MFT, they're just kind of sacking top lane right now. As we get to see perhaps a 3-man dive towards top lane, and MFT, they don't have any support for it because they're taking Dragon.
Yeah, the jungler has, I assume, is spotted during the bot lane. Needlework already used to clear the minion wave, but he doesn't get all of them just yet. And
more minions
in comes the dive. Let's see if
Gwen
can turn this. He does have the ultimate waiting
I think they spotted him.
Side. Yeah, and Impunity, I think they have to call this one off. So it will be a good start here for MFT as they take the objective for free and even put some pressure onto the bot lane.
That was a fantastic read coming in from Wen. Making an assessment that it is going to be them trying to dive Taco in that situation. Makes the roam over, protects his top lane.
Oh, Onyx found again with the grab him combo. Ignite goes down, but he should be able to walk out just okay. We have seen a lot of times Issue has found Onyx's number here. Catching him out, I believe, the third time. Oh, that one misses. But good enough. Damage done over and over again. You can see still no summoners from Yushin. And in comes the 4-man. This could be a long-range dive. Let's see if the Shadow Surge can actually find Onyx here. Oh, he's backing out so fast, though.
Yeah, not level 6 means that he's not going to have that additional move speed to try and run away. And also remember, he doesn't have the tier 2 boots, which Whale does have. So Whale's going to be able to catch up to him pretty easily. Has Red-White doing a bunch of damage to this tower already. And MFT, they don't really care about the dive. They don't need these kills, right? Because they're getting tower plates for the affiliates, which is still a great situation. And for IMP, they can only sort of match that pressure by being able to secure themselves that Rift Turtle. But even then, it's not a guarantee you'll be able to match the same amount of tower or plate gold that's being farmed right now.
So we are getting a top versus bottom split, and I want to get your opinion on who actually comes out of this one. You have Jackpot being pretty far ahead, already 20 CS up over Taco.
Yep.
But on the other hand, Whale getting 3 turret plates, plus the CS lead there in the bot side of the game.
I would, for MFT, it's really important for them to get this Aphelios ahead. So it's much more critical for them to get that lead. And for IMP, Jackpot was going to get a lead regardless. Even if you throw down a lot of pressure onto him, eventually he is going to get to that break point as Fiora against the Gwen. And they will match with the plate gold, but I'm surprised they don't try and just crush top lane and snowball Jackpot out of control with a Rift Herald in top side.
Yeah, that was surprising to me as well. They're actually trying to balance out the bottom side here.
Yep.
Some nifty plays by Issue. I just want to point that out, that he was body blocking the burst fires against the tower, preventing the extra play from going down, and also forcing a couple tower shots on Onyx. Always nice to see some cheeky plays like that when happening in the bot lane. But I agree. I feel like, MFT definitely need that Aphelios to be farther ahead. I think they're fine if Gwen is somewhat behind. So they're willing to play with this setup.
Yeah, again, the Gwen's going to be a better team fighter over a champion like the Fiora. So even if Fiora is ahead, while she's going to be able to dominate the 1v1, that was going to happen regardless. So getting extra gold into the Gwen, maybe not as effective as getting more gold into this Aphelios, where he can possibly just dominate this mid game.
Onyx smells something fishy as there is a 3-man rotation coming in.
He's got backup coming.
MFT just trying to play this all the way. Oh, the anticipation doesn't work out, and Onyx is able to re-engage. Now 65 is caught in a bad position. He has to go through the tower. Final chapter does go through. Wukong already locked down. Grappling is going to be there. Whale is hit up. And
the ultimate
back. Oh, Gwen just comes out of nowhere. Snipes off 1 kill. That's going to be 2 for the Vex. They even find a return onto Wen. No, Wen goes further, and Whale stays alive throughout all of this. Gets the 7th for the heal. Alex now being chased down. Flash in. He gets the final kill. A triple for Wen.
Wen, he shows up right place, right time. Once more, these match timers are so good coming in. Only 12 minutes in the game, but we saw he goes top lane, protects his top lane from getting dove, and now in that situation, knowing that Impunity wanted to try and match the pressure coming out from MFT, he's there to turn the play around. And it's such a critical fight for them as they prevent the counter snowball coming in from Impunity. We'll see the teleport come in, teleports to the tower, knowing that, hey, it's not 14 minutes yet, I don't have unleashed teleport, but this is a play I need to do.
Yeah, the angle here on the ultimate was so nice as well. He takes Apex as a surfboard to the back line, and then still has the passive to go for Onyx. Just throwing the
saves Whale.
Yeah, just absolutely beautiful stuff right there as he just destroys the old AHQ veteran combo.
Able to save Whale at the last moment with the fear, and man, that's a tragedy and a half right there. Apex doesn't finish off the blue buff, so more time burned. Try and secure just this mini objective. At the very least, I believe Impunity were the ones to secure themselves the 2nd dragon, so they do split dragons early on, which is going to be helpful in stemming a possible snowball from MFT with this composition. And that will also buy time for Jackpot to become this absolute demon in the 1v1, because he's got the Divine Thunder completed, and now for MFT, they're just trying to throw the dual lane in order to alleviate pressure onto Taco.
Yeah, swapping him around here, making sure that, Fiora is going to be behind in some of these wave matchups. We also have to note that MT and their bot lane, they do have the early mythic, so they're very far ahead in their respective matchup. It's going to take Impunity a 3-man to dissuade this, and we also have everyone moving on the side. Gwen, again, coming in for a potential good angle. Will is going to be the target of some aggression here, but Impunity do not follow up the entire way. Apex might be face-checking into danger. Oh, that was so close. They don't pull the trigger just yet, seeing Yumi on top of him. And Impunity are able to wait out at least the tower plating timer at 14 minutes. It would have been a lot of extra gold to go over the Whale if they did not mount this defense. Meanwhile, Jackpot going for a potential 1v1. Taco burns the W and the Ignite early, but does get the Flash Force. Really nice timers here.
Man, I mean, that was a Gwen down a Mythic and down 30 CS. Jackpot is just, he is really not showing up today. Struggled in the first game of the day, and now forced to burn in a flash in a really ill-advised situation where he shouldn't have to burn that summoner.
Yeah. He still has the decided lead in this lane. It's just getting caught out at bad timers right there. The slow going through, the tower shot, everything through. So MFT are going to find themselves a nice cushion here. But Impunity, I think this back is really important for them. They have their first mythics across the board. We should take a look at this one. We are going to get Wen going with the Crown of the Shattered Queen. Really strong on that initiation. And Onyx, of course, with Immortal Shield Bolt there.
Yeah. The Crown is just going to amplify so much power. His positioning is going to have to be relatively spot on, right? Because you don't want to pop that shield until the fight actually comes through. Otherwise, you do lose a lot of the power coming in from that item. Fortunately, there's not a ton of poke, except for perhaps the Ultra Shock Laser that would pop it. Yes, the Yumi could potentially pop it, but more than likely you won't be in range of that. And Jackpot's just kind of still continuing to try and bully out this bottom side of the map. But Taco now has the completed mythic as well.
Jackpot willing to go back and forth here. He does have a lot of sustain with the Vamp Scepter. So the underneath the tower harass, definitely not too big of a problem for him. And we have Impunity now setting up for this Mountain Drake. They do have the inside track, but I'm not sure how much it matters when Wen can just fly in here. Taco going to go in against Jackpot. That's going to be the Ignite. Tower shot, Needleworker going down right before the Drake. Kind of interesting.
That's a key cooldown removed, because that's a lot of their teamfight damage as well, in tandem with everything else, just to try and get that wombo off. Pillar down, which does mean there's an engage opportunity coming in from MFT.
I don't think MFT can walk across this part of terrain here. Impunity are going to turn around and start the potential pincer. We have the TP coming in from Jackpot. So Impunity looking for the fight. It's going to be Issue that starts that final chapter, goes through. He's almost down, and that's the grand challenge already going over to Impunity. Impunity in chase mode with the zoomies. Can 665 get out of here? Great Cyclone and flash away afterwards. So MFT are going to limit their losses to just 1 kill so far, but Impunity have a decided advantage as they head towards this Mountain Drake.
Yeah, for MFT, they don't have the Vex ultimate anymore, so it's going to be very difficult for them to actually contest this dragon. It's really just going to be a steal or bust, but Taco actually
goes in, Wen goes for Onyx, but Onyx is able to walk on. Whale actually leading the charge.
Oh my god, Whale!
Moonlight Vigil. They're catching them inside this break pit. Whale flashes back out once more. They get the Fiora, they turn around, they even get the Drake. This is a 4v5 that they're decimating Impunity with. What amazing play, just dancing around and switching aggro. How many people can get out here? Apex running for his life, but the Fox Lady isn't gonna make it. The 80 carry is also down. Yushin the last one, and an ace going over to MFT.
That just came out of left field. They ended up getting caught out. Their support player that died at the start of the fight then comes back and just pushes down mid tower. I don't believe it.
MFT get everything.
Impunity dropped the ball once again. It looked so good at the start, and even afterwards, you look at the tools available for MFT, it didn't look like they had a way back into this fight. We get to see the replay. It's just Issue going in when Whale wasn't paying attention. He was trying to crash that mid wave, get the tower in the mid, and then turn for the fight. As the crash happens, they still look to turn for this fight, but remember, none of their engages left. It's all, I believe it was all onto Whale with his ultimate to do all the work. So Taco jumps in, he still doesn't have ult. So he's just, actually he does have ult at the very end of it. So, but Whale, this is really all about Whale as he finds a massive ultimate, forces out the smite as well from Alex because he has to smite for health, and then MFT just clean up afterwards.
Jackpot trying to look for a good angle. He's waiting for the vitals to switch around here. Taco finally has that one on his back. Jackpot is going to take down the tower. We saw the Ignite go down as well. It's going to be pretty... Okay, not close at all, sorry. I thought it was going to be a lot closer than that. Anticlimactic end right there. Jackpot just gets cut to ribbons.
I don't know if Jackpot understood Fiora mechanics there, because he should have walked further away to actually reset the fight.
I was waiting for that as well. I was like,
but
think
he never walked out of range. I think he was afraid that Taco would just TP out. But you can't get the vital switch until you actually do walk out of range, and that was the only way to flip that situation over. And he just... This is not a good day for Mr. Jackpot.
Has not been. I
He's
think
going
this
bankrupt.
is his debut on Fiora as well. So I'm not sure we're going to see this pick all that much in the coming games afterwards. To take stock of the situation, MFT after the ace, now at a 5,000 gold lead. They also just took down the bottom lane tower for Gwen alone. Loads of gold across the entire board here. And they're in one-shot territory. If Gwen starts the fight, I don't think Impunity have anything to say about it.
Yeah, Annex is just very far behind now, waiting to get himself that Phantom Dancer. And when you look at how Impunity tried to play things out, they tried to stabilize bot lane. This could have been a much faster spike for Jackpot if he was able to get that Rift Turret up top side. But they choose to try and invest it into Annex, bring him back into the game. They're going to try and split the map up by clearing out vision around this Baron buff, maybe draw attention toward this Baron, and it actually does. 4 members or 5 members drifting towards the top half of the map. As they look to pull attention towards the Baron buff, it's actually successful.
Gonna give Jackpot a lot of time to just catch up on farm here. Oh, he's not actually gonna try to push this all that much, but as you said, does give Impunity some breather, catch up. Most importantly, they do need that farm onto Onyx. That is looking pretty bad for his damage. And if we look at the gold charts, all 3 carries coming in from MFT further ahead of their counterparts. The jungler as well, also very comfortable in the lead. Alex, he is on a tanky build. I'm not sure about this face check. Walks very close to the edge. Issue, doesn't land the dredge line.
Always helps to dodge out in some of these skill shots when you have a Yuumi with the extra move speed, and Jackpot just trying to finish this tower.
It's going to take a lot of damage for this, and we also see the Shadow Surge just being used. Leading down, Mistral Bolt will miss. Flash burn from Jackpot though, and a fight on the other side as they open up on 665 and Issue. Neither of them one goes down though, and Taco finds the backline, already forcing the summer away from Onyx. Will once again in the front line. He's an AD carry, but he doesn't mind playing in the Vanguard here. Ren now in the back,
doesn't have the ult.
Have his passive. Let's see if he can get the fear up. Actually misses everything, but it's enough to cut off. The bot lane is now down, and Impunity once again in tatters.
I mean, Impunity just... They're dropping the ball. I don't even know if they're dropping it. I think they're just giving it away.
They're passing the ball almost at this point.
They're just putting the ball on the court and just saying, hey, take it. We don't want it. They're not... It's just... There are so many mistakes coming out from Impunity that MFT... They're just taking advantage of the mistakes. They aren't over-forcing the play, right? As even here, like, 665 gets taken down quite low. But they've all kind of funneled themselves into that small area that Taco comes in and forces a ton of chaos. Wen comes in, and yes, he misses the fear, but it forces Annex to walk up, split himself away from the tower, and that nets himself them 2 kills for Whale, and now Whale out to a 3-0-4 scoreline. Absolutely massive this game, but even more massive is, of course, the impact of Wen on this bank.
I want to say those TPs should be visible, but he's picking great times here. He's going in onto Alex. His TPs have just been so stealthy that he's been able to make Impunity forget about them. Like, you can't actually see those, but because of the split focus, you know, I think Wen has been a master at these teleports. He's been so absolutely crucial here. Now MFT feel confident enough to go for the Baron. They're only up 4,000 gold. Impunity could still impact this. Now we have Will going in. Final chapter lands across multiple members, though.
They can't finish him off.
Go down to Issue. Let's see if Impunity want to chase. Apex goes in. Lots of damage across the board, but no charm coming out.
Yeah, and the side of MFT, they can't push the issue further because they don't have the ultimate onto Wen. So it's just a bit of a mistimed fight coming in for MFT as they try and force a fight around the barrier by baiting things out. And it does go a little bit sideways. Impunity find a good pick, able to stabilize the situation for now, and allow more breathing time for Jackpot to continue to scale. He's still going to control this 1v1. That doesn't change. He just needs to execute around it a little bit better.
For sure. There is going to be a point where Fiora is going to get unstoppable in that solo lane. So Impunity...
Soon he should be able to, like, 2-tap Taco, right?
Yeah. Given Taco's build here, I think it would be rather easy later on when we go to the third item. It should be a decided win on his part. But that was a weird situation where I felt like MFT overforced. They forced themselves to walk all the way from Baron Pit up the ramp. Very telegraphed, very easy for Impunity to just deny there.
Definitely them overplaying their hand in that moment. And Impunity, they're very willing to just accept that gift. And now they have the Hull Breaker completed by Jackpot.
Ooh.
So for sure he wins in the side lane, right?
I'd be very surprised if he actually gets taken down here.
Yeah.
So
and now Apex actually speccing into the smite here, knowing that Baron is going to be the next objective that MFT want to force because of the fact that, hey, they need to somehow draw away Jackpot.
Oh, Issue goes forward, but actually gets hit by the charm and the final chapter. Also with the Ultra Shock Laser, Will takes a bit of damage. Actually not punished as much as I would have expected right there. A bit of a half-hearted engage coming in from Impunity onto that one. And MFT afterwards should be able to come back onto the map with a slight lead. Jackpot, as we were mentioning, now with the sustain, with the Hull Breaker, he finally should be able to have his way in this match.
As long as he doesn't tank too many tower shots or tank too many skills while he's trying to take tower, it should be completely fine. And that's why Impunity don't overcommit to that fight in that instance when they possibly had the catch up. If they screw that one up, it's going to be Baron buff going into the hands of MFT, and that really kills any momentum that Jackpot can have in a side lane, as he has to deal then with the extra Baron empowered minion. So I think their response was a well-understandable one. Just allow Jackpot to continue doing his thing. And now he's going to go for a recall, as it looks like everyone's going to sort of set up for this dragon, which is coming up in 20 seconds. Right now, Impunity are in perfect position. They have full control into Mountain Rift, so it's hard to walk in if you're in Philios.
I almost feel like Wen has to blind check this brush and just throw something out, but Impunity are spotted here. We are going to get the flank coming in. Taco coming in onto his side. They trade blows, but nobody really fully committing to this at this moment. Looks like Impunity are not confident enough to actually head for the Drake. They want to use the Spirit Rush, but it's down with no reset, so MFT going to be up one ultimate, and they go in directly. When still find an angle in the fight, he doesn't find the back line. Onyx is going to come in through, but already the front line has been just burned through. MFT with the triple kill. Onyx is the only one alive, and that was split focus from Impunity.
Clement, I just love it when we build ourselves a Hull Breaker and immediately we look to team fight. That is...
It was the Mountain Soul, so I think he needed to be around there, but the fight itself was That was a little too easy for MFT.
Yeah, the issue was sort of just speccing into Hullbreaker for when you knew that at some point you were going to have to contest this Dragon Soul, and doesn't have the stopwatch for that fight, or if he did, wasn't able to use it, and he just gets bursted out. This has been an absolute tragedy of a day for the top laner of Impunity. Jackpot just not coming up sevens at all. It's a lot of duds.
Soul and Baron going over to MFT. We'll watch this play again. It started with Apex having to run away with the Spirit Rush, and you can see here MFT just wait out the ultimates, go back in. And I have my eyes on Jackpot. New work, Ignite. Okay, good. And that's the fight.
Nah. Yep. So much invested in just trying to create space with this Fiora Yuumi combination. Really doesn't come to fruition in that moment, and Whale just so far ahead. As long as he's left untouched, he will be able to clean up the fight. And as you saw there, with the damage chart, Taco with these items does so much damage with that Shadow Flame.
When did 0 damage?
It is
It didn't even matter.
Yeah.
When landed nothing, and they still won.
He whiffs his ult. I thought when he whiffed the ult,
That's
that would be the
amazing.
turning point for Impunity, because now you don't have kill pressure in the backline, but it didn't matter. Gwen is in such a strange position.
Front to back too strong on the side of the MFT. They're looking to close this one out. It's just a 4-man walk-in at this point. And Impunity, they don't have anyone that can actually withstand the burst anymore.
Yep.
They have to keep their distance. Apex trying to get a catch here. 665 could be absolutely fine with it. And the siege goes on. Impunity now down 8,000 gold. How are they going to find themselves back into this one? What are their miracle situations?
The issue is they don't have a lot of wave clear with this
true.
4-man squad trying to stave away the Baron buff, right? And that means it's going to be, at some point, Jackpot will probably have to pull the trigger to recall back towards his team.
In comes the engage. Final chapter goes through. Issue actually has to flash out immediately. A bit of a fun engage there. And both sides do call it quits. Still a little bit of damage done to the tower, but probably not the engage that Issue was looking for. Straight onto the Trundle with Yuumi. Yeah, that target's a bit sus.
Yeah, not the ideal target in that situation. Issue, though, does have the Hourglass. So this last fight, even though he doesn't have the flash, still has the Hex Flash and has the Zanya's Hourglass.
It's going to be round 2. Let's see if they can find the backline onto this one. Shadow Surge is going to go wide after the flash, but Zeri still goes down 6-5 into the backline. Will with the perfect guns, just charging forward. Gets charmed up, but has enough protection. And he can stay alive here. It's going to be the Trundle Defiant falls down. Impunity also falling everywhere. We finally have Jackpot into the fight, but he can't find the kill, can't find the vitals. MFT are going to cap this one off with an ace and also secure themselves a 7th seed. Congratulations to Wen.